How much protein do women need to build muscle? I'm going to get right into it. The scientific literature says that zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.8 is the basic daily requirement for the average American female. I'll start out at zero point 0.5. Zero point 0.5 is for your basic sedentary female, and this is just to provide her basic protein for bodily functions. She's not breaking down a lot of muscle, there's not a lot of turnover. So zero point 0.5 would be for your sedentary female. Moving up, you go to zero point 0.8, and this is for a female who's getting a lot of her movement through her activities of daily living, through her work, moving around. But again, she's not breaking down a lot of muscle, but she's a little more active than the sedentary female. So zero point 0.8 would probably cover her needs just fine. As we move up, we go to 1.0, and this is the amount of protein needed for a woman who is doing primarily most of her formal exercise through cardiovascular work, and she might be dabbling in weight training 1 or 2 times a week. So her protein turnover, how much protein she's breaking down, is going to be slightly higher than the previous category, but it's not going to be significant enough to build muscle. She's just not doing enough strength training and breaking down tissue to have that requirement. So 1.0 for your person who's just doing a lot of cardiovascular work. Moving on, we get into the sweet spot, 1.2 to 1.5. This is the range for women who are strength training. They're kicking butt in the gym. They are getting a tremendous amount of protein breakdown and turnover. What I will say is if you're a female and you've been training hard with the weights, but you're just not seeing any muscle being put on, it's probably because your protein is just too low. You're not providing enough of the nutrient to synthesize new muscle. And worse yet, if your protein is very low, you actually could be getting less muscle. So you could be breaking down muscle and not repairing, rebuilding. So it could lead to a lot of frustration. But protein is going to be the key building block. And if you begin to increase your protein, you will definitely start to see that you will lay down some muscle. In addition, I think a lot of women have a fear of fat and calories associated with protein intake. That's misguided because muscle is your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the better your metabolism is going to be at handling all of the macronutrients, especially carbohydrate. And another thing that you'll find with an increased protein intake is that your satiety will be so much better. You won't be used to these carb heavy meals. Not saying that you don't need carbohydrate, of course you do. But with more protein and a little bit of fat that comes with that protein, your satiety is going to be much better. So you'll feel full on less calories, and you will begin to also see your body composition changing. So don't underestimate protein. Very crucial. In addition, a lot of you women may have issues with hair, skin, and nails. Protein is the building block of hair, skin, and nails, along with the fat molecule cholesterol, among other things. But protein is necessary for keeping that healthy glow, for keeping your hair nice and thick and shiny, and keeping your nails from getting brittle. So protein has many benefits. It's wonderful. But if you're not taking in enough protein, you may be suffering from loss of muscle, which is going to affect your bone density, which is also going to affect your hair, skin, and nails. So we can't underestimate protein. We're going to take a 150-pound woman, which I think is a fair average, who is training intensely 5 to 7 days a week. She's really kicking butt in the gym. And we're going to use her as our case study, I guess. and we'll break down the macros for her so that you can get an idea of how you need to be formulating your plan. So, as I said earlier, you want to use that range of 1.2 to 1.5. My suggestion is if you're not used to eating quite a bit of protein compared to what you're eating now, start at 1.2, and then you can always just increase the multiplier to 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. But if you start at 1.2 and you see that you're putting down muscle, then you probably should stay there until you're not getting results, and then you can always increase. I would not go past the multiplier of 1.5, only because then calories become an issue, and I wouldn't want you to get discouraged if you start gaining weight but not necessarily muscle. So start at 1.2 and stop at 1.5. So we're going to take our 150-pound female, we're going to multiply her body weight times 1.2, and that's going to give us 180 grams. You may see some calculators that use lean body mass, but quite frankly, most people in general don't accurately know their body fat percentage. So to say lean body mass, I think that's just too much of a moving target. But in my experience, helping females out, I find they get good results just using body weight times the multiplier. So I think we'll just stick with that. So I'm going to put the meal plan up on the screen and we'll go through it so that you can get an idea of how you can break down your meals for the day. So as you see, meal one, you can have 3 large eggs, give you 18 grams of protein. I do not recommend not eating the yolks. The yolks are full of nutrients that you're probably not getting, cholesterol, which is important for hair, skin, and nails. And if you're going to go egg whites, then you're going to end up having to eat more eggs, which kind of defeats the purpose. Now, meal two, 6 ounces of chicken breast and 6 ounces of lean ground turkey. Both are 42 grams of protein, similar protein sources. And when you eat these meals is obviously dependent on yourself and your timing. If you work, if you're home, it all depends. This is just to give you an idea of the breakdown. Meal three, 6 ounces of salmon, 34 grams of protein, 5 ounces of top round steak, 38 grams. I actually used the 38 grams in the calculation for 180 grams of protein. I rounded off. My calculation says 182. I said 180, but I just rounded it. Meal four, you can have 6 ounces canned tuna, 38 grams. That's not a lot of volume. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much. And your new best friend, if you're trying to increase your protein intake, is going to be a good high quality whey protein powder. And you're going to have a scoop and a half, and that's going to give you 37 grams. Most servings of protein powders are about 25 grams, but you can easily do the calculation if it's more or less. And then, because all of you females out there who want to build muscle are training intensely, you're kicking butt in the gym, putting in work, you're going to have your post-workout shake. 2 scoops of whey will give you 50 grams of protein. And as you see, that will come out to 182 grams of protein for the day. Sounds like a lot, but really it's doable. And the 2 scoops of whey, it's usually delicious. They're flavored real well, and they'll fill you up with the volume of the fluid that you have to mix it with. So that's a good choice. Okay, so tip, start at 3 ounces per meal. And like I said with the multiplier, work your way up. Start at 3, go to 4 ounces, go to 5 ounces. Don't try to eat 6 ounces of protein per each meal, especially if you're not used to eating protein. And I know a lot of women tend to go a little bit skimpy on the protein, and maybe they increase the carbohydrate more than they should. But just do it gradually, kind of like when you're lifting weights, progressive overload. Just add an ounce here, Then you can add an ounce after a few days, and you'll be up to 6 ounces after a couple of weeks. So don't push it so you get discouraged or you get sick of eating it. I can give you a suggestion if you're a little unsure about how to measure your protein. You can see this video here and how to measure protein in chicken breast, and that'll give you an idea of how to measure. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.